I just want to throw this into the ether of the internet because I was just thinking about this. I just want to make some videos about what's on my mind because sometimes I think about things that maybe, I don't know, I find are interesting. And I was wondering, like, how many people would there have to be sick of the coronavirus before I knew somebody that was sick? And this got me thinking because people are saying, well, do you know anybody that's actually died of the flu? And it's like, no, not that I can think of. I mean, how many people do I know that have died? But how many people have died of the flu? I can't think of anybody. I know it happens. How many people do I know that have had the flu? Lots of people. I've known many people over the course of my life that have had the flu. I've had the flu. So it makes you wonder, like, you could theoretically gauge on an anecdotal level how many people have the flu based on or how many people have the coronavirus based on the people you know. And this is saying 600 people you know, which I think is, yeah, you might know 600 people, but how many of those people do you interact with on a daily basis? But let's just do a quick calculation here. So there's 330 million Americans. 330 million. And let's say you know, so you know 600 people. So that means 1 in 550,000 Americans you know personally. So that's how many cases there would have to be before you knew somebody with the coronavirus. So once there's 550,000 people have it, the chances are that you're gonna know one of those people. How many people would have to die? There'd have to be 550,000 people would have to die before you knew one person that had it. That's assuming the 600 number. So maybe that's like your Facebook friends, just, or as a group, I don't know. How many people do you interact with on a daily basis? I mean, I think of like maybe 20 or let's say at a weekly or monthly basis. So I know maybe 20 or 30 coworkers at work pretty well. Maybe 50 more, I barely know their names. How many people, you got church, you got friends, you got family. How many of those people do you talk with on a, decent basis? Maybe 150 people, maybe 100. So let's just try 150 people. 330 million Americans divided by 150. So that means there'd have to be 2.2 million people would have to have the virus before you knew someone that had it. It's interesting. So right now there's only like 80 or 90,000 people in China with it, but there'd have to be 2.2 million in America before you knew someone with it. Or on the other side, how many people would have to die of it before you knew someone that died of it? It'd be 2.2 million would have to die. And let's go even less. So some of us maybe only interact with 100. You could probably go down to 50. I don't know. Imagine if you work from home, maybe you only interact with family and a couple of friends, but say 100. So 3.3 million people would have to die before you knew somebody. Let's say the guy that works at home and doesn't really talk with a lot of people. 6.6 million people would have to die before you knew someone. I mean, I don't know how many people live in like Los Angeles or New York. Let's find out. The biggest city in America. So like, if you're that guy that didn't interact with a ton of people, literally the whole city of New York would have to fall off the face of the earth before you knew somebody that had it. It's not saying that's not a big deal or anything. I'm just saying that the argument that people are using that like, the flu's not a big deal because you don't really know anybody that's died of it. Well, this is way more deadly. So in my opinion, it's going to have a big effect. And I have reasons. I think I might make a couple of videos because there are some reasons that maybe other people aren't thinking of that's going to make this a bigger deal. And I work in a hospital. And I've seen where we get to, sometimes in the hospital, it gets so busy from the flu season that you're actually not able to do your job well. That literally it gets to the point where some people could theoretically lose their license, that they're not giving proper patient care because of how busy it gets. And that's the flu. Imagine if you had the flu on top of the coronavirus. The system is already at a point where it's where it's stretched to the max, and it can hit a breaking point way easier than people think, because the way the hospitals are in it to make money, and so they're going to hire as few people and have as few people there as possible. Because that's a whole nother story, but it's just like any other business where they only have as many employees as they need to make a profit or to succeed. Don't even talk about the money part of it. Just they're only going to have as many people working as is necessary. It's just standard. I mean, it doesn't matter even if you lived in Stalinist Russia or whatever. There's no money involved. You want to allocate resources as best as possible, that you're not going to have too many people just sitting around. I mean, that's always the best thing. But because when you have surges like the flu, and that's predicted, I mean, people know that that's going to happen, and even then, you get an overwhelmed system. So if you have 20 times as many people being admitted to the hospital than the flu, you can create a whole issue. And I'll make some more videos on that, because I've been working at a hospital for 4 years, and I'm a respiratory therapist, so I know some things that probably other people don't know. But that's it.